swag of a prize fighter. The antithesis of a firefighter. Arsonist, I'm a fire rider. Instant flame like a firelighter. So special with shows, I live out my flows. Can't walk in my shoes, can't purchase my clothes. Ice in my veins, but I never froze. Picture perfect, but I never pose. As a juvenile, I knew I bounced back. Got rated, had a plan to get my ounce back. Use cheese as bait, that's a mousetrap. Let me to the right person to pounce at. They selling dreams, I'm pulling receipts. Full force, we can't be beat. Got a dirty mouth, but the flow so neat. Keep your 2 cents, talk is cheap.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is should Jake Paul honor the bet he made with Tommy Fury? Now, at the press conference to this fight, Jake said he would pay Tommy Fury double if he beat him. But if he beat Tommy, Tommy would get nothing. They agreed on stage, shook hands, and Tommy Fury ends up winning. However, there were some things that happened in between where apparently Jake tried to send out a contract to Tommy Fury's team. They didn't sign it. And now Tommy Fury's team is demanding that Jake Paul pays them. And so there's some issues with that. We're going to look at some videos, and then we're going to discuss this in greater detail after we review the video. So the first video we're going to watch is from Derek Ward Chisora. And this is what Derek Chisora had to say.
And I thought about something. You know, when we were on the stage in Saudi for this fight, Tommy and Jake shook on the bet and they shook hands. And I got the contract. So I think Tommy should get money off Jake Paul, or else I'm gonna lick the contract out. I got it. A bet is a bet. They shook hands on it. You don't need the contract. You don't need anything. Man to man, if you shake hands, you pay the man you shook hands with. So I think Jake Paul should wire money to Tommy. That's fair.
All right, so
I was driving.
That's Derek Ward Chisora's take on it. Here's what Big John Fury had to say after the fight. He went to social media and he sent a message to Jake Paul, and here's what he had to say.
Family back home, well rested, heads back on business. Jake, you know what I'm going to do. We had a deal, mate. We had an handshake. We said we box for free if we got defeated. You say you'd pay double if Tommy could beat you, and that's what he done. Tommy beat you convincingly. So what I'm going to ask you to do is honour and step up to the plate and pay your bill. We had a gentleman's agreement in front of millions of people worldwide. We shook hands on national world television in the great country of Saudi, you know. And please do not come out with all the contract bull, mate. I can hardly read and write. I'm a gypsy. I'm uneducated, you know, but listen, what I can do is all I've got in the world is my word. And I give it you in front of millions of people. We shook hands, and I expect you to do the same thing, Jake. But I know you will, because you're a stand-up guy. I look forward to hearing from you, Jake. Pay your bill, mate, and thanks very much. Bye-bye.
So that's the video that Big John Fury made to Jake Paul. Now, before the fight even happened, while Tommy Fury was getting his hand wrapped, there was Logan Paul witnessing Tommy Fury getting his hands wrapped, and his team asked Big John Fury about the contract and if he signed it, and you'll see in this video right here. So let's take a look. All right, hold on.
Talk about boxing. That's what we're here to do, box.
John, the world wants to know what happened with the contract, with the deal that was proposed.
Let's talk about boxing. That's what we're here to do, box.
Certainly is boxing.
Is it?
Certainly is a deal about boxing.
I'm concentrated.
Before you leave, John, just about that contract, just to be clear.
Why don't you shut up?
But just to be clear about
Listen, video boy.
No, but
Video boy. Just shut up, video boy.
But I'm just
nobody.
But John, I'm curious about.
He just curious.
Could you give me an answer?
I'm his
maybe?
manager, so go
So you would know?
I'm curious too.
John, the world wants to know what happened with the contract.
So you saw the video of John Fury's reaction before the fight when Logan Paul and Tommy Fury's manager are standing there and they're saying like, hey, did you sign the contract? What's going on with the contract? John Fury didn't want to talk about the contract. He said he was focused on the fight. after the fight, John Fury saying, "Pay your bill, mate. I don't deal with contracts or whatever." I'll turn it over to you, Conspiracy G. Should Jake Paul honor the bet and pay Tommy Fury double?
All right. At first, I was going to say yes. But that last video, and in addition to them not signing the contract, because I remember I seen the video with Jake Paul talking about, we sent the contract to make it an official bet, and he hasn't heard back from them. So that tells me they weren't serious on Tommy's side about the bet. Now that they won, now they're like, yeah, give us the rest of that money. Give me your purse. Like, come on. Like, if Jake was going to win, were you going to actually honor the bet? No, they wasn't. So to me, it's all gimmicks. However, I will say this. Big Boy Fury had a good point. You know what I mean? That old head, he said, when men are honor, if you make a bet, honor it. You know what I mean? So, but with fighters, when they up there talking at press conferences, man, I'm like, are they really, really serious? Like, I don't know. I just find it kind of funny. So, me personally, if I was Jake Paul, like, I would honor it. However, if Jake Paul is like, let's make this official, and he sent you a contract and y'all ignoring it, and then my brother and his team is approaching you about the contract and you still ducking, that tells me you didn't want to honor it altogether. So I'm being honest. I don't think Jake should have to pay the bet, because Tommy's team didn't seem like they were really committed to this bet either. So, like when I make bets with Ned, you know what I mean? And Ned loses, Ned don't go, we didn't do a firm handshake. I ain't trying to hear none of that, Give me my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. You know what I mean? And Ned knows, because he's used to losing, So I'm just saying, man, like, when you lose your bets, you honor it. Pay up. Go ahead, Ned.
Gee, watch your mouth. First off, we like 50.
Watch your wallet.
All the money I gave you, you gave it back.
Nah, I never.
Brazil.
Never.
You got me on
You heard what he said, G. Everything you
got me
already
heard
done.
a got me on fib. Last time I checked, he lying.
Got you on.
The what?
Joshua 2. Ruiz Joshua 2.
Hold on, Ned. Let me see your finger again. You got a wart or something on your finger?
No, it's the blur. It's like a blur.
I'm like, damn, bro, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm cooling.
All right.
It's a blur right there.
Yeah, you good?
Nah, but it's Ruiz Joshua 2. Got that bread back.
That was the only fight you won.
And then Wilder Fury 2. I got that bread back. Because it was a draw. Remember, the first fight was a draw. So you jumped up screaming like, let's go. Like, when you knew Fury won. You knew Fury won. You was shaking in your boots. So watch your mouth.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Watch your mouth. And I owe you a couple push-ups.
Yeah. You still
Double
owe.
up. Double up.
Yo, get on the floor right now, bro. You still owe us like.
Wise words the camera on. Double up. Because every bet is owed a double or nothing. So Jake Paul, if anything, double or nothing. Because since there's a rematch clause, get that back, run it back. If you're true confident in yourself that you're gonna whip this man, you're gonna knock him out. Double or nothing. Double or nothing. Let's go. Run it up.
All right. So normally, if you shake hands on a bet, it's honor. You should pay up. But let's be real. People usually don't shake hands on a bet of that magnitude. You need to have binding documents. Like, you're talking about taking someone's whole salary, which was in excess of $1 million. So you don't shake hands on $1 million bets like that, unless you're someone who's filthy. And so to me, what Jake was trying to do is the right thing. He shook hands at the press conference. Then he tried to put it in writing so that it can be binding. But at that stage, the Furies got cold feet.
We don't know how to read. I'm like, what?
Yeah, so you don't have lawyers? How
Exactly.
You don't know how to read how that fight gets signed. Right? If you own land, how'd you buy that property? You feel me? So it's kind of like a cop-out. It's like, and I get it. What he's saying, like, I'm not educated. I don't deal with the school stuff. When I shake your hand, I'm saying like my honor, my word. And that's cool in the hood, right? That's cool on your block. But that's not the way things work in the real world, in reality. Like, oh, I'm going to buy your house. Okay, I'm going to sell it to you. All right, shake hands on the price. I give them the money and they still in the house. And then I tell the government, we shook hands. I gave them the money.
So question. So handshakes aren't legally binding at all? Because it was public. It was like everyone's seen it. So it's like if y'all make an agreement and it's public on camera, can Tommy Fury's team use that in court?
It's not the fact that you saw it on camera, but was there really a meeting of the minds, right? That's why things are normally reduced to paper, because it's like me and you, we can start negotiating and I say, I want to buy your car. You say, oh, you sell it to you for $5,000, whatever. We shake on it at the store. But then when we put it in writing or whatever, and you think about it and you say like, nah, actually I'm good. So who's going to say what? Right. You know, again, the chance to show and to prove that you seriously wanted that money would have been to sign that contract. So let's say you go to court, G, right? And Fury's team is going to argue, we shook hands, we wanted the deal. The courts are going to be like, he took it a step further. He put it in writing. He documented it. He was willing to agree. He signed it. Y'all didn't sign it. All you had to do was just put your signature on this page and you would have gotten the money.
Yeah.
But
So
instead,
pretty much Judge Judy would throw out the case.
Yeah, come on, G. You already know what it is. You know what it is, G. Stop playing. It's like if you really thought you were going to win, you would sign that joint.
Yeah,
you really want it to be, you get your lawyers to review it if you want it to be all or nothing, and you would have signed it. But now he's like, oh, don't come to me with no contracts. But even when they were in the locker room, and this is where they got it from me. He's wrapping Tommy Fury's hands. So to the very last minute, they're like, dog, the contract. And he says, you see the guy standing there says, I'm Tommy Fury's manager. So Tommy Fury's manager can't read. Tommy Fury's manager doesn't know any lawyers that can review that. It's simple, bro. Now that they won, you right, G. Now that they won, they're like, yo, where's our money? But the fact that they didn't sign is what shows there wasn't a meeting of the minds, because in order for you to have a contract, it has to be bargained for exchange. That means each fighter has to be given up a detriment, right? So the only way for him to win the money is if he was willing to pay the money himself, and they weren't putting it in no pot or whatever. So for him, it's a win-win because he didn't sign nothing. So now that he wins, he's expected to collect. But no, the only way he can collect was if he would have been on the hook to lose money had he lost, and he wasn't. So he had the freedom of going through that fight, knowing that he could lose, still have right to his money, and tell Jake Paul, no, because I didn't agree, I didn't sign a contract. It wasn't until he won that he's demanding the money. So that takes away bargain for exchange. That takes away that. You understand what I mean? So it's kind of like, yeah, you could say that. And then you also pointed out something, G. Was it reasonable for them to really believe that it was a binding agreement? When people say things all the time in press conferences, it never really, it wasn't until it was reduced to writing where it was about to become official, and Big John Fury didn't even want to talk about it until he won, and now it's be a man of your word. But I have a feeling if Tommy Fury would have lost a split decision, he would have been like, we signed no contract. Exactly. You know what I mean? So I mean, like you say, it's a nice little game. It's a nice little ploy. Y'all can put that in the storyline for the rematch, and I'm sure it will help. That's all I got to say. Does anyone have anything else to add?
Yeah, it's just like, yo, double up.
See, you know him so well, G. You had it.
Man. Yo, you know why? Because Ned loses so many bets.
Double up, yo. Come on.
Ned's theory is at some point you're gonna come out on top.
Thanks.
Yo, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Yo, like for real. Like, share, and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram, Twitter. And remember, you can listen to our podcast on all major streaming services. We are the Boxing Bros.